Let's talk about Dark Chronicle, guys. So I came into this game, we have played Dark Cloud 1, we played it last year. I thought, right, we'll give Dark Cloud 2 a go at some point, but I needed to give myself a break because Dark Cloud 1 nearly burned me out. I think we played it in we beat Dark Cloud 1 in 7-8 days. So now we've had a few months break, we decided to throw it on. This game is very similar to the first game, obviously, but there is a lot more emphasis on story. There are some mediocre changes from the first game, but I think I enjoyed this one better. There are some improvements to the graphics. It runs pretty well on the PS4 because that's the version we played it on. My review should probably start with, did I enjoy playing this game? For the most part, no. I'm sorry to say that out loud, but I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to tell you guys my thoughts, and then I'm going to try and explain my opinions in a way that makes sense. If you go online and you look up reviews for this game, it is so highly rated, it is unreal. A lot of people who review the game speak very highly of this. I've seen people in the comments of those reviews saying this is one of my favourite games of all time, this is one of the best RPGs I've ever played. So when I came into it, I was hoping that it was going to be quite good. I thought Dark Cloud 1 was kind of fun, but it got very repetitive and boring for me. This game is still repetitive and boring at times. I had to force myself through it, and if I wasn't playing with you guys on stream, I would not have finished this game. I had a strong suspicion that, people who play this game have a nostalgia thing going on. This is the trophy you get for completing the game. Only 6% of people who have ever played this game on PSN, okay, so not the original PS2, but on PSN, out of all the people who have started installing and playing this game, only 6.2% of all the players got to the final boss. I feel like that's a strong reflection of what this game is like. I feel like for its time, this game is insane. It's really well done. I think back in the day when you pick up a game and you only get a couple of games a year, and so you're stuck playing the same games over and over again, I can completely understand why this PS2 game would have made so many people happy. Now, as an adult in 2020, playing this game is soothing and it's tranquil, the music is beautiful, but it's very repetitive. Now, I'm trying to do this in a way where I'm explaining my own opinions while also reflecting on the fact that, some people love this game. And yeah, I wanted to balance my review with that in mind. Just because I didn't like it doesn't mean it's bad. But in the modern era, I had people coming in do I think this game would hold up in the modern era? Probably not. I think we spent 50, 60 hours beating this game. You might stick on for the next 50, 60 hours and have a blast. We should probably talk about things I like in the game, and then I'll talk about things I don't like, and then that'll help me explain why I found some aspects of this game good and why I found other aspects of this game incredibly repetitive and boring at times. So, compared to Dark Cloud 1, I really like the village building aspect in Dark Cloud 1. I didn't really like it in this game. There's a lot more extra stuff you have to do in this game, and I find it tedious. You go into the dungeons in Dark Cloud 1, you find the Atlamilia, you find the houses, you find the trees that go around the houses, and you go back to the city area of the dungeon, you plonk it all in, you get a chest reward, and you get items, and you move on. Some people might say that they've refined it and made it more complex and more exciting, but to me, I feel like they just diluted it, stretched it out, and made it bland and boring. So in this game, what I had to do was I would go into the dungeon, I'd find the geostone, I'd find a house. First of all, you need to build the house, so you need resources. Now, in the beginning of the game, this was a pain. In the midpoint, in the late game, I had no problems with this whatsoever. I had so much money saved up, I had so many resources from all the dungeon crawling I'd been doing. In the end, this wasn't as annoying as it was, but on the first dungeon, I got hella pissed off with this. I had to go back and forward to the resource manager, the lady who sells you the resources in this game. She is on the train. I don't know why. There's 2 loading screens between the person who sells you the bricks and the wood to build your houses and where you build your houses, every time. Now, on one hand, they could be keeping all the villagers together for simplicity on the train wherever you go. That kind of makes sense. You've got a little hub. That's your base. The train is your base. All your villagers are on it. You know where to find them. I just think that when you're building, they could have taken the resource seller and put it on a little cart, on a little stall, inside the village part that you're building. Moving on, another thing they took out of Dark Cloud 1 and replaced in this game is the Dran's Feather that you get in the first game. There's an item you can hold in Dark Cloud 1 and it allows you to zip about the dungeon really fast. Now in this game, they took that feature away. There are no Dran's Feathers, but you've got this new robot, which is the ride pod, right? Now the ride pod in this game is pretty busted. I liked using it. It was fun. There was times where I thought it was really OP, and then other times later on in the game where I hadn't upgraded it properly and it felt like it was so weak. I mean, I used it in the final boss and I barely got to use it because it just instantly got clapped. So the ride pod replaces the Dran's Feather. I would personally have liked to have seen the Dran's Feather return, but other than that, 2 things that annoyed me about this game was obviously the lack of Dran's Feather and the resource management. I'm going through negatives right now, but I'm going to get to the positives in a minute, guys. I'm not just hating on the game. When you get villagers to join your settlement in this game. You know, it'll tell you, okay, you need Boris to come and join the city. You need fucking Finlay or whatever to come and join the city. Go and find Erica. But the game doesn't tell you where to go and find these people. Now, luckily, when I'm playing this game with you guys, I'm pretty impatient. So maybe, again, this is just me. When I went back to the city, I personally did not enjoy having to go around and find the people in the city. I felt like it was very frustrating. I felt like my agenda in this game is to level up my weapons, beat the dungeons, move on. And when you put all these kind of side challenges in the way, yes, it's an RPG and side questing is important, but these characters are literally halting your progression. It's not even like you go and find Jimmy and then they come and join the city immediately. You go and speak to Jimmy and he's like, actually, I would like you to bake me a cake, but I need the ingredients from this realm, and this realm. You know, there's all these complications. I feel like if you wanted to keep that feature in, what would have been nice is to just have some sort of NPC in the game who gives you clues on where people are. Max doesn't run very fast in the game. Again, no Dran's Feather, whatever, so you can't even run very quickly when you're walking about. It takes some time. All that stuff I could have done without. I feel like it slowed down the game, and I'm pretty sure that's why a lot of people will get perturbed with the game and drop it quite early. I think people will get frustrated not knowing where to find somebody, and they'll just think, fuck it, I'm not looking all over the town for that person. I can't be arsed playing this game. And it's a shame. The rest of this game is pretty good though, okay? A lot of this game is pretty good. The storytelling is pretty good. There's a lot of effort put into the characters. Max and Monica are very likable. I like that there's only Max and Monica in this game because it means that you only have to focus on two people and occasionally your ride pod machine. I like having two characters. It simplifies it down. The music in this game is very pleasant. There was parts of the game where I could feel myself getting used to the music and I would hum along with it. That was pretty chill. The thing that I like the most about Dark Cloud as a series, and this game continued on, is the weapon upgrading. There's not a lot of RPGs that allow you to take a weapon that you've been using for a long time, and as soon as you find a better weapon, actually take the first weapon and fuse it into the second one to make the new one even better. That feels really rewarding as a player because you put a lot of time into your weapons in this game, and so being able to mesh your weapons together and carry the stats over into the new weapon is a really cool feature. It's definitely one of the things I enjoyed the most. It's all blind, so maybe they could have given you a bit better help with that, give you a bit more information to work with when you're choosing to upgrade, because you could upgrade it into something shit and then suddenly your great weapon is suddenly not what you wanted it to be. That was a bit iffy, but I really like the leveling up in this game. It's very, very unique and I definitely feel like it should be credited for that. This game's also got a lot of unique features that I've never seen before in a kind of a PS2 game. You know, the whole photography aspect of the game that's been put in, I won't mention it too long because for me, it was a tiny part. I didn't take that many pictures, but the fact that you can take pictures of everything in this game and actually build things if you want to, you can find recipes and build things to make your playthrough better, I think that's a really cool feature. I think that is a really nice thing to have in the game. The golf minigame, again, also seemed pretty chill. I didn't take a lot of time to mess around with it because the first couple of times I was getting irritated by like the golf ball bouncing off a wall at 100 miles an hour and then fucking flying off into the distance or the cosmos. I do normally play about with minigames, you know, you're talking like Gwent in The Witcher 3, Blitzball in Final Fantasy X, Triple Triad if you want to get another Final Fantasy example. I normally take time to investigate these little minigames. I didn't in this game. It kind of bothered me a little bit and I felt like the game was long enough as it is. I didn't really need to dick around for another 2 days fucking about with the golf clubs, but the option is there if you want to, and that's what's nice. Ultimately, it still boils down to, for me, I feel like the dungeons in this game are very big. I saw some people online saying that the only problem they found with this game is that it wasn't long enough. I just couldn't understand that philosophy. I think you really have to be a true fan of this game and to love it a lot to want more content than what this game gives you. The dungeons are not only huge, but there's a lot of floors to each dungeon. And to me, that just kind of extended the pace of the game. It just made it drawn out for me. But again, if you love the game, you're going to have a ton of content. So I guess that's a double-edged sword. The people that love the game are going to enjoy that aspect, and the people that don't like the game are not going to enjoy that aspect. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty much it. I think I'm happy with that. I don't mean to be negative, but I couldn't understand the hype surrounding this game. I just didn't get it. I'm not denying that it exists. I'm not denying that it's good. I couldn't get it. We spoke to a couple of community members who played this game as we were getting started, and they were like, oh, I love this game, I've played it so many times. I would never want to play this game more than once. I'm happy we beat it, and I was charmed by the story. I was charmed by the world they built. It was very pleasant. Some of the worlds in the dungeons actually look quite nice, you know. I felt like, you know, you had your forest dungeon, into your cliffside dungeon, into your seaside dungeon, into your fucking lava mountain, into your evil palace at the end. I felt like those were all nice biomes, and it was quite cool to see different areas and stuff like that, but that's pretty much me. If somebody asked me, should I play this game now? I would say, well, have you played any games like it? Have you played Dark Cloud 1? Did you enjoy it? Because this game is very familiar to people who have played the first game, rather. Anybody who's not played a game like this before and was looking for like a chill game to play, I don't know. I feel like this game gets very monotonous and you can kind of lose your mind a little bit just focusing on the next dungeon, you know? Let's clear one more floor, let's clear one more floor. And then you're in a dungeon and then suddenly the door is on the other side. You go all the way to the door and then you realise that like you need the key, which is back on the other side of the dungeon, or like, you know, you're looking for the key on the enemies and it just so happens that the guy that's furthest away from the door is the last guy. He's also the guy holding the key and you're like, Jesus. You can be on the same floor for like half an hour. It is repetitive and the experience depends on how much you enjoy. What it repeats for some reason it's tedious, but others quite love it, said Valkyrie. Yeah, absolutely, guys. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I didn't enjoy this game, so it's shit. I just personally didn't enjoy it, but I can see from the response and the community and the following that this game has that it is good to a lot of people. Gorister says, the whole package is exhausting. Yeah, there are great moments. That's probably why people praise it so much. Yeah. I was trying to review this from the angle that, you know, again, some people love it, and even though I didn't see all of its genius, maybe that's just because it's not aimed at a person like me, I don't know, but